What is that thing? I do not know. It is not in my database.
Hi everyone, I'm Jessica with that hashtag show, and I'm here today with Tony DiTerlizzi, who's the author of The Search for WondLa, which is now being adapted into an Apple TV series. Congratulations on getting this show adapted.
Thank you, Jessica. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Now, you do a lot of amazing work in fantasy and sci-fi. What inspired the world of WondLa specifically?
Great question. WondLa came about many years ago when I was turning 40 and my daughter was 2. And I was contemplating, that's the word, contemplating what the world, how much of the world had changed in my 40 short years and what the world might be like when my daughter Sophia turned 40. And I was thinking about our isolation from the natural world, mankind in general, our separation from the plants and animals that we share the planet with. I was thinking about our growing reliance on technology. And I was thinking about the people that I had now met in my life that I loved and were just as important to me as my brother and sister. And that kind of found family was something that was very special to me. And so those themes are kind of the basis of what would become the books as I kind of explored and asked those questions. It doesn't really answer them. It leaves it up to the reader to kind of conclude. But those are the stories I always loved growing up with.
Absolutely. Now, did you have a character or a moment from your books that you were most excited to see get animated, make that jump to screen?
Yeah, that said, being a parent, I was thinking of what kind of parent will I be? Will I be like a helicopter parent where I'm worried about my daughter all the time? Oh, don't fall, don't get hurt, don't. And that's Muthr, right? That's the Muthr character in the books and in the series. Or will I be more like my dad was in the 1970s with me? And he was just like, listen, be home when streetlights are on, don't get hit by a car, I'll see you for dinner. And that's Rovender. So those two characters are very much me trying to figure out what kind of parent I think I'm going to become. And truth is, I'm a little bit of both. I think probably as it is with everyone. So to see those characters come to life and to see that triangle interaction between Muthr, Rovender, and Eva was really important for me. I've lived with these characters for a very long time. And, I think the key here is that I was so involved with the team at Skydance from the get-go, and there was just a tone of respect from storyteller to storyteller about how to adapt this and how to treat it and the themes, and that the themes were so important to the team there as well. And you just don't always get that in an adaptation. So I felt very fortunate.
That's lovely. And it's great that when books get adapted, you get to be introduced to a whole new audience. So we're going to have some new people come into the WondLa world.
Oh, I
But
hope
for
so.
original fans, I always like to highlight everybody who was so invested in your books to begin with. So do you
Absolutely.
have a tease that you can give specifically for the series dedicated to the book fans, something that they'll recognize that newcomers might not know
Oh,
about?
such a great question. So, okay, if you read the books, there's a scene where Eva goes to see a fortune teller, a character who can see the future named Arius. Arius is in the series, but she's not in season 1. Arius had a sister named Darius who could see the past. And we never see her in the books, but we get to see her in season 1. And I worked directly with the Skydance team to come up with this scene. And it's one of my favorite scenes in the whole series. And we just had such a great time. And it really captures, I think you'll see, like it feels like it's out of the books. And I think that really speaks a lot about the team of how attentive they were and how much they were very serious about really kind of capturing the spirit of the books and putting it on screen. So that's one of my favorite sequences.
Awesome. I love that. And one of mine as well. So I'm excited to see that that was added specifically as a
Yes.
little connection there. I love
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
All right. Since WondLa is a world that takes place in a future, we get some sci-fi tech and some cool creatures and stuff. If you were going to bring one thing from the world of WondLa into our current world, what would you bring?
Oh, I want a goldfish. I mean, who doesn't want to
That's what
ride,
I said.
doesn't want to ride around in a float? Where are our hover cars? We were supposed to have them by now, weren't we?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Everybody look forward to the goldfish. Thank you so much for talking with me today. Have a great
Thanks
one.
so much for having me.